Hello everyone! I am Alice of KHR Arts and Cloud Orchid Publishing, and today we are going to talk about if you're not here to help, then why are you here? Let's get into it. What exactly does this mean? Unfortunately, here in the month of April, that has kind of become my mantra this month. And a big part of that is a combination of all of the parasocial issues that have been going on with just continued business as usual trolling and harassment online, and just existing in the internet space in general, and how people behave in terms of engaging or lack thereof with content. So to begin with, to kind of explain this, there has been an ever-growing trend toward people having negative reactions to content creators. That there is a lot of malintent behind a lot of the engagement that as a content creator that you receive online. Unfortunately, that is kind of par for the course and you expect it. However, as of late, it seems to have been getting worse. And a big part of that is this idea where people think that you're getting money for doing nothing, and just a lot of entitlement, that people believe that you're making oodles and oodles of money, and how dare you ask them to engage with your content because then you're somehow making money off of them even though they're not giving you any money by watching your video. It's very silly. At the end of the day, it's honestly very silly, and it's just a breakdown of entitlement. How that affects content creators, and more specifically how that affects me and also Neil because he faces the same issues, is that it's a lot of annoying. It's kind of death by 1,000 paper cuts every day, that individually none of these comments bother us. They're not exactly comments that are going to be a big deal in our day. They're not memorable, anything like that, but it's when you just get inundated with this just day in and day out, just non-stop. It just becomes exhausting just from the sheer volume of this. And of course, the main platform that this really is a problem on is of course Reddit. As we all know, Reddit is a cesspool, Reddit is awful, and honestly, me and Neil wouldn't be on Reddit if it also wasn't the platform that was helping us perform the best, funny enough. Because at the end of the day, the algorithms don't care if the comments left on your stuff is good or bad. Engagement is engagement. And so even when people leave mean comments on your stuff, that is actually in your favor, and it drives engagement up and ultimately gives you more algorithm points for your stuff to be seen in the algorithm. It's kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy thing where it's like, bro, if you don't want to see my stuff, don't engage with it, because the more you engage with it, the more you're going to see my stuff. It's a vicious cycle. This has also been having spillover into my personal life, in that I have a personal Facebook account where I get a little more real with people than I do with my other social media accounts, which are more public figure sort of accounts. And more I've been seeing this bleed into just like my normal people that I engage with, people that I have on my friends list, and it's just really sad to see that happening there too. To give an example of what exactly I mean by if you're not here to help, then why are you here? The Reddit example is when Neil or I post something, just post whatever. Let's say I'm posting this video on Reddit. There will be a flood of people in the comments that will ask things like, what is the video about? Why should I watch this video? You need to write me a 5-paragraph essay on why I personally should watch this video. And also people being like, fuck you for having pink hair, and fuck you for being femme on the internet, and fuck you, I don't like that you're colorful, and fuck you, I hate authors, and fuck you, I hate content creators, and just all that kind of stuff. And it just really boils down to the question of, why are you here? What is this supposed to accomplish? And that's really the frustration that so many content creators are having, is that there's just so many people that jump to engage with your content in bad faith, in that it's like, I'm not really sure what your end goal is here, buddy. It's like, you commenting mean things on my stuff just pushes it up in the algorithm, which, I mean, honestly, at the end of the day, helps me. However, it doesn't help me as an artist, it doesn't help me as an author, it doesn't help me as a video creator, it doesn't help me in the long run with any of the stuff that I'm actually doing. The example with my friends that is sad and honestly sucks a lot more than stupid randos on Reddit telling me that they hate my face and, want to transvestigate me and whatever shenanigans, is I recently posted a post where there was no call to action in the post. I wasn't asking anybody to do anything or for any sort of help or advice or anything. It was an observation. And I've seen other people making posts like this, in that the current economy that we're living in, everything is just going up astronomically in price. That just price increases are just bonkers bananas, and it is not due to like inflation or anything other than corporate greed, is really where the needle points. Yeah, some of the increases can be pointed to the tariffs and blah 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 and all that, but at the end of the day, really it's just companies running with the excuses to just jack prices up just because they can, and of course the government is doing nothing to stop them. One of my friends posted that she noticed that an SSD card that she bought a while ago was something like $100. And now apparently that same SSD card is $500. Why? Just craziness. I've been seeing a lot of these kind of posts. So I decided to make my own post because I have a bill that's coming up, and so I went to go pay it, and I noticed that kind of price increase, and I was like, wow, this is so crazy. I'm going to get in on this conversation. And while I did add the personal this relates to me, and that a thing that I've been struggling with in my personal life is that ever since I got laid off 13 months ago and counting, is that I've been struggling to afford my bills. I've cut so many of my bills, y'all. Like, I've cut so many of my bills, and still it is so hard every month to, like, make sure that I tick all those boxes and get everything paid. It's very frustrating. And I was sitting down with my finances, and I was just like, why is this so hard? I've cut out so much stuff. Why is this still so hard? Especially because I've been here multiple times, y'all, where I've been laid off from corporate jobs, and I've had to turn around and rely on my freelance work, really beef that up, have that stopgap in the interim. And I'm like, I was able to like make it off of a fraction of the money that I'm able to pull in now. Why is this so hard? And it's because my bills have literally doubled in the past year or two. And I was like, oh, well, this makes a lot of sense, and it's because of all the nonsense going on with price increases, and it also helps me to feel better that it's like, it's not anything I'm doing, it's just, yeah, of course you're gonna have trouble paying your bills when all your bills are twice as much money as they used to be, like, duh. And so I made a post about that. Just, hey, I want to get in on this conversation about, wow, prices really suck. And instead, everyone took that as an invitation to be like, oh, well, this is what I do instead of that. And maybe you should rethink your life choices. Maybe you shouldn't have those bills. Or, wow, I don't know what this is, but it sounds stupid and you shouldn't pay that bill. And da 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 da. Just asking for a whole lot of nonsense that I didn't ask for, and also like trying to shame me about my life choices and my bills when they also don't even know what they're talking about and admit they don't know what they're talking about, and it's absolutely bonkers. And I kept asking them, and these are people I know personally, and I'm like, if you're not here to help, why are you here? Even though I didn't ask for help in this post, but if you want to help, you're not being helpful. None of this is helpful. Why are you here, honey, other than to shame me? Like, that much is obvious. You're all here to shame me, which is just also why. Why are we friends if you're here to shame me? That's just rude. It just seems like the internet is just becoming infected with this kind of mentality of people just absolutely sticking their noses where it doesn't belong, giving opinions that were never asked for. And there is this really gross mentality that is gaining speed on the internet where people assume just because you post something that means that you have opened the floodgates to a critique. And that's not the case unless someone specifically asks for advice or specifically asks for a critique, then that should not be the assumption. It should be, hey, I have presented a thing, let's have a discussion about the thing I presented. And y'all, the way people go off the rails, just completely out of pocket, is incredible. And the fact that that has become the norm instead of the having a kiki like, wow, like this came out of left field, this person's a crazy person. Now it's like, oh my god, everyone's a crazy person these days. And just how much low-level background stress that adds to your life as a content creator is so frustrating, because again, again, individually, these things don't bother me. Someone saying mean things about me on the internet doesn't bother me. Like, honey, I used to work in the fashion industry. Y'all can't even touch the mean things people have said about me and to my face. Like, y'all have to get real creative to hurt my feelings these days. And on top of it, the volume, the sheer volume that is just so exhausting that every time you open up your notifications, every time you open up your comments, every time you open up your DMs, there's just going to be a flood of horrible and stupid. And it makes it all the more special when you do have these gems of engagement where, one, somebody's actually on topic, two, someone's actually being helpful, and oh my goodness, three, when someone actually makes a great point. Love that. Love it when that happens. I'm sure y'all are like, okay, like, get to the point. What is the point of this video other than having a bitch fest? I mean, it is a little bit having a bitch fest. However, it's also a cautionary that I see so many people are continuing to get laid off from their jobs. So many people that have been laid off from their jobs, like me, are seeing the writing on the wall that it's like, oh, this is going to be long term. Oh no, I need to find something in the interim for this. And so many people are turning to content creation or turning to creative freelance works, which also forces you, unfortunately, to have to also do content creation to advertise your creative works. And they're not ready for just the horror show that is the internet these days. And y'all need to have some real thick skin, and y'all really, really need to pick your battles, because otherwise it's just gonna be an absolute bloodbath in your comments with people just coming for you. And they know when you have hit that wall of getting angry and you become irrational, like, that's when they win. They will just keep pushing you if you just keep giving them what they want. And I've especially found with experimenting on Reddit, I've been able to find some strategies for dealing with this kind of behavior. And the best strategy that I found that works for me and my brand is that I've just taken a take no prisoners, take no shit type of stance, in that I just call it like it is. I don't get nasty, I don't get vindictive, I don't stoop down to their level. I just go, no, I don't care. No, you're wrong. No, that's not the purpose of this comment. Or my personal favorite, I will literally copy pasta their comment and then rewrite it back to them, and that makes them super upsetty spaghetti, and they don't know how to respond to that. It's hilarious, y'all. How I use the copy pasta one is that somebody will say something like, wow, you decided to come on the internet today and post this irrelevant post. Maybe you should go back and go cook a sandwich in the kitchen. I'll copy and pasta that and be like, wow, you woke up today and decided to leave this irrelevant comment on this video. Perhaps you should go back to the garage and fix a car. Just throw their words right back at them and show them just how ridiculous they sound, and also show them that it's like, your comment is inane. Here you go, gonna serve it right back to you. Some people would probably say that is stooping to their level. I personally don't see it that way, in that it's serving their dish of dog shit right back at them. I don't think that's stooping to their level so much as saying, no thank you, please take it back. That's not wanted here, no thanks. Stooping to their level is going and finding their stuff and leaving mean comments on all of their stuff. It's tearing them down as a person. I feel like that's when you have lost the battle, that now you're just as bad as them. Whereas if you try to find a more intelligent way of throwing things back in their face to just drive home the point of, this is inane, this is mean, it's unnecessary, please go elsewhere. And a lot of times it works. And when it doesn't work, there's of course the handy dandy block button. Y'all, my block lists on my platforms are enormous. Don't apologize for your enormous block list, because honestly, it's the same reason why you take out the trash every week. You don't want to have your trash being all stinky and making your home a yucky place. Clean up your profile. You don't need to have yucky, stinky accounts stinking up your comments and your shares and all that. We don't need that here. Just take out the trash. It's not a big deal. It's fine. But I feel like that's also the thing that we can turn around too, is if you are a person who is trying to act in good faith, and you're like, I feel like the internet is really difficult to navigate these days. How can I help? How can I really actually comment in a way that creators are going to find helpful, or at least not find offensive? And I have found the best way to do that is ask yourself, is this helpful? Is this actually helpful? And one of the instances that I ask myself that is because, again, Reddit requires you to, like, people will do like profile checks where they like check your profile ratio and all this stupid stuff. It's so high school, it's so silly. But just to appease that nonsense, because you have to have a certain ratio of posts per like comments that you're commenting on other people's posts, I purposely go to artist subreddits and I will comment on people's drawings and paintings and be like, oh my god, this is so pretty, I love it. And all of my comments are genuine. I only comment on pieces that I genuinely like, that I genuinely feel those feels about those paintings and drawings. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to gas somebody up when I don't actually believe those words. It is all genuine, but it is for the greater goal of I'm being required to fulfill a comment quota, so I'm gonna at least do it by doing something nice. When I do that, I make sure to read the little tagline whenever someone posts a piece of art, and if they post that they're looking for a critique. So they're looking for, hey, how can I improve on this painting? Hey, I'm trying out this new technique, and I don't really know what I'm doing, any tips and pointers. Obviously, me being like, wow, I really like the colors, is not helpful on a post like that. That's not helping. And in fact, as a creative person, I understand this deeply, that receiving those kind of comments when you're asking for a real critique is annoying. Because it's like, yes, I know the colors are awesome. Like, that's not helping me. I need to know what to fix. And so I don't leave those kind of comments on those posts. I only go to the ones where they're like, look, I did an art. And I'm like, gold star, buddy. You're doing amazing. Love it. Go you. Like, make sure your comment fits what the post is actually asking for. Be here to help. Make sure that what you're doing is actually helpful. It's really sad to just see the way that things are devolving, and I don't really see things changing anytime soon, but it is something that, as always, we have to evolve and strategize around, against, with, however you want to view it. And that's the thing that I found to be most helpful, is just, if you're not here to help, then why are you here? So I hope y'all found this video helpful. If you did, please be sure to give it a like. And if you're new, subscribe. Alright, y'all, thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.